Welcome to another video by Techie Mama, your best source for tutorials on WordPress and mompreneur tech. Save hours of research that goes nowhere. Learn at your own pace on your own time. Celebrate your wins faster with more results. Apply your new knowledge immediately. If you like this video, subscribe to YouTube and get notifications, and connect with me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We'll do this. All right. Welcome, Leslie. So my first question for you is, as a DIY mompreneur, I'd love to hear a little bit about your journey to becoming a mompreneur and a mom. Tell us about your story to the road to marketing and mindset. Not a combo I see very often. How did it come to you? And yeah, tell us all about that.
Yeah, hey. So thank you so much for having me on. I am super excited to be here and talk with your fellow mompreneurs, because it is super difficult sometimes to make that distinction as to how much time to spend where. And I actually really simplify it. So for me, during the day, I'm working. So it's just like if I was, and I'm going to dive straight in here, but it's just like if I was at, a 9-to-5 job, 9 to 5, I'm working. And as for my kids, I've got one older one who's, oh my crikey, nearly 20, which is freaking me out. And one really freaking me out when now I've said it out loud. And one, I've got a little daughter who is nearly 9. So I've been an entrepreneur for, I don't know, 10, 13 years now, I think. So, on both sides, they were both little at some point when I was doing this. But with my daughter, normally she's at school, okay? Obviously, with everything that's gone on at the moment, she hasn't been at school, so we've done homeschooling. But, normally she's at school. And she does know that during the day, during, even like her school day, that's when mommy's working. And, both myself and my husband actually work from home anyway. So she does know that when we're in our offices, we're working. She's always welcome to, come in the room and talk to us if she needs us, all that kind of thing. But she does still know if we're here, if this is work time. And I think the biggest problem is that mums in particular tend to feel very, very guilty that the child is there and they're not playing with them. And it's like, well, okay, but if you were in an office, you would still be working and you wouldn't be there playing with them. But what you get from working from home is that you can take a break whenever you want, right? And so don't feel bad if you want to go, okay, no, you go and play with this now, set them up with Lego or toys or whatever, coloring, whatever it is. It can be in the same room or not, it's up to you. But, you get them involved in something and you kind of just go, right, you play with this now. Mummy's got to do this for an hour or 2 hours or until lunchtime, whatever. And then, you can always stop and take that time whenever you want to, whenever they need you to do something with them. But, I think kids actually understand way more than we think they do about work. And my daughter has always been, she's always known mummy to work from home. So for her, it's completely normal. And if you've got children who, have always known you to work from home, then to them it's completely normal that when you're in your office, you're working and they're playing. And that's cool if they need you, if anything's upset them or if they've hurt or, whatever, you're still there. You're still being their mom. You're just working. And my daughter also knows things like we have a thing, like I tell her every time I'm going to do a live, this will be the one time it doesn't work, right? But she knows like what time, she's that little bit older, so it's not going to work maybe like a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, whatever, but she's that little bit older, so she knows, when mummy's got the office door shut, that's when she's doing a live, and not to come in unless it's an emergency, unless she's hurt herself. unless it's a problem. If it's just that she can't find a toy, not at that point. That's when you don't come in, right? So I just think you've got to kind of get that balance with them. And as I said, for me, I started my first business years and years and years ago, and I was a photographer for like 10 years. So I was working all through the week, and then I was shooting weddings and things at the weekend, and I just never had any time. I never had any time to spend with my kids. And that is one thing that I am so grateful for. With an online business, it means that I can spend time with my kids as and when I need to and want to, and as and when they need and want me to. So, I don't have to spend weekends working. Sometimes I work because I love it so much, but I don't have to do it. Sometimes when you get an idea at 3:00 in the morning, you're like, time, quick. But it's just nice to be able to have that flexibility. And I think what you've got to understand and what you have to let go of is the guilt, because for them it's normal and it's okay as long as you're still being a parent to them. Don't feel bad that you have to work. You're working because you're providing an income for your family. You're working because you want to help other people, because you want to make an impact. You're working because you want to get to the point where you can go, do you know what? I'm only going to work 2 days a week from now on, or I'm going to only work 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. So just having that understanding of why you're doing it really, really helps you not to feel shame and guilt around working when you've got kids around.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that was a lot to get started in on.
That's fine. That's great information. No, so my kiddos I have 2 boys and they're 2 and 4. So any tips for when they're young?
When they're young, yeah. So definitely if they still sleep during the day, make the most of it. If you have a partner, then make sure that your partner pitches in. You don't have to do everything. It's not like, you have to work all day and do all the cooking and do all the cleaning and we don't live in that world anymore. Okay. It's not, he does this and I do this. We don't live in that world anymore. And the only way that we're going to fully come out of that old stereotype is if we introduce it into our lives and our children grow up learning that. So, I have to admit my husband is great. He makes me breakfast in the morning. He actually makes me breakfast in bed, because although I'm up early, I start working in bed in the morning on my computer, my laptop, and he makes me Nutella pancakes and strawberries and raspberries, which is my yummy breakfast to get me started for the day. So he's very good. He does a lot of the cooking and stuff like that and helping out. So I just think that it's a case of making sure that everybody in the family pitches in, even if it is when they are that bit older. It's your kids, they can clean up the dining table after them. You don't have to do that. When they're younger, definitely making the most of any kind of sleeping patterns, getting other people to pitch in and help. And also, you have to watch your kids constantly, but you don't have to be talking to them constantly. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't have conversations with your kids, don't interact with them. But, you can sit there on a computer while they're playing on the floor next to you. And you can still go like, yeah, that looks really gorgeous. Oh my God, I can't believe you did that. And then go type. So, you can kind of, combine the two together. Obviously, there are times when, little ones are just not having a good day. It's too hot or they're tired or whatever. And sometimes you just have to go, okay, I work from home. I can do this my own way. So I'm going to wait until later on tonight and I'm going to do it then. And again, it's that flexibility of knowing that you can do that, and that letting go of the guilt around the times when you are working, because you've got the flexibility to change it.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. Yeah, my office is currently in our playroom, so they play a lot while I'm on the computer, and for the most part, they let me be, and they enjoy playing and doing what they need. And then when troubles come up, then I intervene and try and get them to play again together, or,
Yeah.
on their own or something like that, separate them.
Yeah. And sometimes I think it's, I think with little kids as well, it's a case of getting them involved in something.
Mm-hmm.
Because if kids are normally, I'm not saying I'm parent of the year here, but kids are normally more irritable and more clingy when they have nothing to do, when they're bored.
Yeah.
It's usually when they're bored and their mind isn't occupied. So even if it's, some sticking and gluing things down, with my son, every evening I would cut out pictures from a magazine. And then the next day I would sit there and work on my laptop. He would be sitting there on the floor in front of me with a glue stick, a piece of paper, and all these little things that I cut out of magazines the night before. And he would just sit there for a couple of hours, sticking and gluing. And he had so much fun doing it. He's right there with me. I can keep an eye on him. And, he's going to kill me for telling people this now. He's nearly 20. But he was so cute. I could still sit there and work. So it's just giving them that thing to do. And, you can always start off playing with them and, start off by, sitting on the floor with them and doing it. And then just, slowly stepping away, move to the sofa, back one step at a time. And you're going through it that way. But just understanding that you do have that flexibility. And I think, and remembering that you love your kids, you're doing this for your kids, and you are a good mom. You are a good mom. Don't doubt that just because you've got to work. We've all got to work. It's life, unless you're a multi-billionaire, you got to work.
Right. That's so true. So we're in a really unique time right now. In terms of mindset, what advice do you have for the listeners to keep just that want to keep your business going? Because a lot of times it's like, oh, the world's ending, so why?
Yeah, so you're right. This year has been rather strange. And I think, there's two things that I focus on in my business, which is marketing and mindset for coaches and online service providers. So those two things go hand in hand. You can't be good at one and be rubbish with the other one, because your business won't take off. You won't get clients, you won't get sales, you won't get engagement on social media, you won't get visibility. It just won't work. And it doesn't matter which one you're good at and which one you're not good at. You've got to get both of those pieces. So at the moment, what you've got to realize is, if you are working as an online business provider, you are one of the few people in the world who can get up, work every day, not have to worry about viruses, XYZ, all this stuff, outside that's going on. You are in the small group of people who is actually going to keep the economy going. You are that group of people who is going to stop us from being in like the worst recession ever. The more you work, the more you sell, the better the economy is going to be. So again, it's that mindset of, well, everything's going tits up outside, but I'm going to do what I can to make it as good as I possibly can make it. And just, again, it's all going back to the mindset of, why are you doing this? Who are you doing it for? Maybe you don't have kids, but you're doing it for yourself. That's absolutely cool. Why not? Maybe you've got kids, but you're thinking, well, yeah, I'm doing it for them, but also I'm doing it for me because I want to, because I enjoy it, because I need something to do, because I'm not just a mum. I am a mum, and, I'm a woman. I am a daughter. I am a mother, a sister, an aunt, a friend. You're all of those things. So why not be the CEO of your own business? And having that mindset of positivity, of gratitude, and of growth and abundance, that you can have anything, and you deserve anything and everything that you want, then just keeping that going no matter what, I think is really super important.
That's great. Yeah, I think we're, the lucky few that we can be safe at home and continue working, and just knowing that we're contributing to the economy is a huge plus, I think, to keep going. So what makes you feel inspired, especially during this time, or like your best self? What makes you have that mindset, or what's your cheerleading quote if you're feeling
Yeah.
down?
So I've got a couple. I've got a couple of quotes that I love. The first one is "You're enough," or "I am enough." You know, say that as an affirmation. I am enough. But to make that better, say "I am more than enough." Okay, because you're not just enough. You are more than enough. Like you've got this, and then you've got this up here. So you know, just saying that. Another quote that somebody told me once, which really, really stuck in my head and made a massive difference for me, was that you don't need confidence in your business. You just need courage, enough bravery to take the first step. And that can be applied for absolutely everything and anything in your entire life and in your business. So that's really, really important for me. I have two other ones, which I call the Nike and Dr. Pepper. So Nike obviously is "Just Do It,"
Love that.
which is when I was younger, I used to have what I will call the F it attitude. So I would be like, oh, just F it, just do it. So you know, if I was worried about doing something, or you know, asking a guy out or whatever it was, it would be, oh, I'm not going to say it, but oh, it. And then so as I've grown, and I don't use those words quite so much, you know, now it's Nike. It's just do it. Just do it. Doesn't matter. Do not think. Just don't think. Just do it. It makes the biggest difference. The biggest difference for everything. And again, if you want to get all into like, you know, the quantum physics and abundance and law of attraction and you know, source and all this stuff, and God and what you're supposed to do in your life, the things that come into you, and then so basically you have an idea that comes into your head, and then your brain argues with itself, and there's a whole like psychology around all this, and basically it kind of comes down and it goes down all through your chakras. And if all at the end of this long process, which, you know, might only take a couple of seconds, but it's a really long in-depth process, you think, actually, yes, that's still a good idea, then, you know, you've kind of won the argument. But if you just want it, you get this idea in, and straight away in your head you go, just do it. Don't think, just do it. And do it before you give yourself that chance to have that argument. That's really, really important. And the Dr. Pepper is, I don't actually know what the proper Dr. Pepper quote was. So something like it being misunderstood or something. But I always remembered the line from the old song, and it said, what's the worst that can happen? And that's another great one. Like, what is, like, let's say you're going to go live and you're worried about doing live streams. What is the worst that could happen? Okay. And think it out. Like, what is the worst? Are you going to die? No. Is anyone else going to die? No. Is the world going to collapse in on itself? No. Are you going to lose your house from going live? No. So if none of those really big tragic things aren't going to happen, does it matter what else happens? Does it matter? Does it matter if the tech doesn't work? Does it matter if you forget what you're going to say? Does it matter if your child comes in the middle? No, none of that matters. Doesn't matter at all. So those are the two things I love. The other one thing which gets me like really inspired, really feeling really, really good is one particular song. And in fact, I listened to it this morning a couple of times. It's called Unstoppable by a lady named Sia. So her name is S-I-A, Sia. The song is Unstoppable. Crank that up on full volume. That will get you in the best mood ever and make you feel so empowered and strong and confident, and you can take on anything. So definitely that's on my phone, that's on my playlist for when I need that big old boost for something.
Yes, for sure. Unstoppable. I'm gonna have to look that up. I love,
you gotta look. Tell me what you think of that.
Yeah, I love great music that gets me just going.
Yeah.
So what's the biggest challenge right now that you have in your role, and how are you looking to overcome it? what's going on in your business, and what's the biggest challenge kind of in your area?
So I guess the biggest challenge in my industry at the minute is probably, good one. You see, I think people would say the amount of people in the coaching industry, but I completely disagree with it, because there's nobody else like you. And just like you choose your best friends, and they choose you, your clients choose you for who you are. So it doesn't matter to me that there are other people doing the same things as me, because there's only one me. No one else is going to come at it from the same point of view, have the same thoughts, have the same feelings, have the same vibe, have the same concepts, use the exact same strategies. No one else can teach it like I can. So although, like, I think a lot of people would say, you know, competition, and I know not even in my industry, but in every niche, in every industry, you've always got other people that do what you do, right? You've always, there's more than one coffee shop in the world. There's more than one supermarket. There's more than one takeaway. You know, it's not a case of competition. It's a case of how you're different, how you're unique, and how you stand out. And that's how you overcome any issues in your business like that.
I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. I often get caught up in just like, well, you know, there's so many people that talk about tech, and so many people that talk about working from home and starting a business, and, you know, and WordPress and stuff like that. But then, you know, slowly realizing and reminding myself that I have a unique perspective and, you know, a unique background, and that brings me to people that need that. So that's really good.
And then, then you got to think of how many people there are in the world. There are billions. There are billions of people in the world. And even if a third of them are doing what you're doing, which is, of course, not the case, but even if it was, that's still 2/3 of them that need you. That's still 2/3 of people that get to choose between you and the other people, right? So there's always enough clients. There's always enough people. It's like when people say, oh, my client isn't on social media. And I'm like, there's nearly 3 billion people just on Facebook. Your client is on there. Because if I put you in a room with 3 billion of your ideal clients, there's no way you could help all of them. You couldn't, you know, you don't have the time. There's not enough days of the week, hours in the day, years in your life for you to be able to help 3 billion people on a one-to-one basis. So, you know, it makes perfect sense that there is always enough clients. There is always enough space for you in your business.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. Yeah. So as everybody's listening and falling madly in love with you, like I am, how best can they reach you? What do you offer, and how can they contact you if they're interested?
Yeah, cool. Thank you. So, hopefully you're falling in love with me a little bit. You know, you've all got to fall in love with the person and the people who you follow, who you're in a community with. Because that's why you're there, I think. And that's what I was saying earlier, you know, there's nobody else quite like you. So if, you know, you can relate to me, if you don't, that's absolutely cool. But if you do, I've got an amazing Facebook group for other coaches. See, I make mistakes all the time. For other coaches and online service providers. So if you're a coach, a therapist, a course creator, somebody like that, somebody with an online business, I've got the Female Coaches Lounge, which is my Facebook group. I hang out in there a lot every day, do loads of free training and stuff like that as well. Obviously, there's my website, which is the Marketing and Mindset Coach, and I've got a super cool little free gift that I can share with you as well, which is about helping you to create and plan your social media content so that you actually plan in your offers and get paid from it. So I'm happy to share that with you too.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'll definitely have a link to that.
Cool.
So you work with organic social media marketing. How has that changed, if at all, since the pandemic? We're just in this really unique time, and it's just, I feel like we need to treat things a little differently, but at the same time, we need to treat them the same. I don't know. What's your number one tip for everyone who's trying to grow their business during this time?
Get online. Get on social media. Because although people in some countries are going back to work, there are still lots of people at home. And people are on social media so much more of the day than they ever were before. You know, if before you were a 9-to-5 job, then you've been told you're not allowed to go to your 9-to-5 job. What are you going to do in your house? I guarantee you within a couple of hours, you're going to be scrolling through Facebook going, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm so bored. Or, you know, you start redecorating a part of your house, and then you go on, maybe it's not Facebook, then maybe you go on YouTube and type how to paint a bedroom or how to cut in with painting, or, you know, so it depends what your business is, but there are loads of places where you can be online on social, and people will just be there. People are there so much more right now. And social networks have also been very clever in what they've done. They've been very helpful, but they've been very clever in that they are creating ways to bring people together. So Facebook, you've got Facebook rooms. They introduced, or reintroduced, should I say, inviting people to your Facebook lives if you're doing it on your phone, you know, while you're live, which is something they used to have and then they took away, which is really annoying. But they brought it back because of the pandemic. So, you know, there's things that the social networks are doing that will actually really, really help you and keep your audience around you for longer as well. So by all means, get on social. Absolutely.
For sure. So here's a tricky question, maybe. If you could switch places a la Freaky Friday with me, what would you have asked yourself that I didn't?
What would I have asked myself that you didn't? What would I have asked myself that you haven't? Oh, crikey, I don't know. Nope, you've stumped me.
Okay, that's fine.
No, I think you've had awesome questions, and I genuinely can't think of anything.
Well, that's awesome. Great. So one last thing, as a DIY mompreneur, what is currently making you happy? And if you could give one bit of advice or last bit of inspiration to help the listeners in their journey, what would that be?
I think it goes back to what I said near the beginning, which is marketing and mindset go together, like hand in hand. You can't be awesome at one and rubbish at the other, and it doesn't matter which way around that goes. Having that positivity, that knowing that you're going to succeed, that knowing that you can do this is amazing. It will change everything. It will change how you feel. It will change how you get up in the morning. It will change how you go to bed at night thinking, have I had a good day or not? It will change how your clients and your potential clients and customers and your audience online see you, because your energy and your vibe will change. So that positivity and that knowing, that 100% faith and trust in whether you believe in God, you know, source, the universe, whatever or whoever you believe in, just knowing that they've got your back and they want you to succeed. There's a reason you're here. Like there's a reason we're all here. We might not know what it is, but damn well I'm going to do my best to be the absolute best I can be. And that's what I think you really got to go for. And that marketing and mindset together absolutely is what you need. Without that, your business will not succeed. So do it, both of it. And listen to Unstoppable. Listen to Unstoppable when you need a boost. It's awesome.
Yes. And what's making you happy right now?
What's making me happy right now? What is making me happy right now? We've had lots of sun. We've had lots of sun over the last couple of days. And here in the UK, it doesn't happen very often. We've also had lots of amazing thunderstorms in the evening, which I've loved, by the way. I love thunderstorms. And so that's all making me happy. But I think, you know, again, that positivity, that mindset of just being happy, of making sure that I make choices that will make me happy, making sure that I'm around people that will make me happy, making sure that I talk about things that are going to make me happy and talk to people. Those are all things that can make you happy in every little way all day. And those are awesome things. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with all these little things every day.
For all those little things. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Find me on all social media at Techie Mama and subscribe to YouTube for more videos.